How's it going? I was asked by some folks and viewers and friends to sort of put a video together describing how I actually do my green screen for my VR and am able to produce the videos like for the In Death Unchained series I've done and some others. And so I thought, it might be a good thing to help some folks out. It's really not a difficult process. The hardest part is configuring the green screen area, getting that set up and getting your camera set up. But putting it all together, compositing it through the software is pretty easy. So we're going to go over that process now. We're going to talk about the tools we use. We're going to talk about the techniques within those tools we use. And we're going to put all the pieces together and come out with a VR product at the end. So the first thing we want to look at are the foundational tools for what we are trying to accomplish. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about while we're building this out is the tool that we use to tie all the components together. Now the reason I'm going to start here is because this is the foundation for everything else we're going to do. So what we use is the tool called OBS. That is the Open Broadcaster software, and that can be downloaded for free from obsproject.com. You can download in Windows, Mac, or Linux. And this is the tool we use to tie everything together. So once it's downloaded and installed and you run it for the first time, your screen will look like this. This area here is where the video shows up. And then you have sections down here that help you define what you're tying together. So you have scenes, which is basically a bucket where you keep your sources. Now these are the important things, the sources. This is where you keep your green screen video, your audio, your game video. This is where all of these things are configured so that they appear on the screen. So we're going to just use the basic scene. You can create more scenes by clicking down here on the plus sign and then naming a scene. We're just going to use the basic scene that comes with it. And then we're going to add sources. Right now we don't have any sources. We can add, we can remove, we can configure, and we can move them up and down because you actually layer these sources. So if you have the game on top of your green screen, you're not going to see the green screen, for example. So the first thing I want to add to the layering is the game itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast. Now I'm going to add one source right now, which is going to be basically a web browser which is opened to receive the cast from our headset. So the first source is going to be this casting component. So we're going to add, and basically I've got two screens here. I'm going to add my other screen, which is my left screen, and that was going to be a display capture. We have all these different kinds of things. You can do audio input capture, display capture, game capture. That's if you're actually playing a game on the PC. Image, media source, which is audio or video, and other things. Video capture device is a camera. We'll get to that. But what we're going to add first is display capture. So on my other screen, I am displaying the Oculus cast window in the browser. And you get to that, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And so what you can see is I've added the Oculus cast source. So I'm going to say OK. Now you'll notice, see the red line? This is actually bigger than the recording space. So we're going to grab that by the corner and shrink it down and fit it to the size of our recording space. All right, so now we have the cast homepage. Now if you look up here on the top left, the address oculus.com/cast, and you have to be logged in, because if you look right here, you see I'm logged in as myself, and that allows you to tie this window to your headset. So now I'm going to go and set up to cast on my headset, and you do that through the casting menu. If you look down here, if you go to the sharing arrow and then click on the cast, and then say I want to cast on my computer, and say next. And you'll get another pop-up and you say done, and you'll see now it's casting. So this is now a source within the OBS software. Now the next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to maximize the screen so that it's a full screen source for you now. Alright, so we're going to stop casting and we'll talk about the next part. We'll recast and put all the pieces together in just a minute. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is record yourself and your audio. So the next thing you want to make sure is you have your microphone in there. The worst thing you can do is record something and have no audio. It's a terrible feeling to spend a half hour doing something and find you wasted your time. So we're going to do audio input capture. And this is my Elgato Wave 3, so we'll just call it by what it is so that it's easy to identify. We'll say OK. And it gives you a drop down of all the audio devices you have on your... So this is my mic in audio Elgato 3, so I'm going to say OK. And what you'll see now is over here in the audio mixer, there is now audio being picked up. Now, if you'll notice, I'm actually clipping this. It's overdriving, so we're going to modify the sound a little bit. You want it to end up right about here at the top of the yellow when it's all said and done. So this is pretty perfect. Sometimes you go into the red. Going into the red is okay a little bit, but not too much. So we now have audio and we have our cast, and of course, as you see, it's just the cast page. I can't keep my headset on and actually make this video. And the final piece you'll need for this is actually your camera recording you. Now, you remember in the first section of this I talked about my green screen, so of course I'm in my little green screen area, or I will be. And we're going to add in the component for my camera. Now, I've got that Kira camera that is mounted to one of my bookshelves that I have permanently pointed and oriented to pick up my self in the green screen area. So let's go ahead and we're going to add video capture device. We're going to call it the Kira. We'll say OK. And we're just going to say OK. So this picks up my green screen space. Now, as you see, there's several things in the way, and it's not very well oriented. So one of the things I do, my Elgato microphone here, first of all, this is me talking at my desk. But when I go to do my green screening, it's on a boom arm, as you see. I actually move it and dip it down so that when I'm sitting on my stool, it's oriented to pick up my audio and it's not in the screen. So I'm going to move it back. You may have noticed a slight change in the audio quality while I did that, and it's to be expected. So the next thing I have is I've got one of my display monitors in the way, so I just kind of tilt it out of the way. But it makes it hard for me to do stuff, so I'm going to leave it there. So throughout the process of this, you'll see a couple of things in screen. And the last thing is, you see I've got part of the wall up here. You can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an Alt, and I'm going to grab this top handle right here in the middle, and I'm going to move it down. You see the line turns green. And basically that allows you to modify the area of control here. And so one of the things, as I said, I wanted to point out, if you have your, the placement of the sources here is layered. So if I move it to the Kira to the bottom, it is now no longer visible, right? So just be aware that placement is important. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the bottom of the screen. So now I have my gaming area. I have my green screen area. The last thing I need to do is go ahead and configure this to do the chroma key. And the way you do that is I'm going to right click on the Kira here, and I'm going to say filters. And in this section here, for effect filters, I'm going to add a chroma key filter. We're just going to leave it called what it is. Okay, and that takes out all the green. Now you'll want to work on this a little bit to try to get the best And so the similarity is what controls how much of the green gets blocked out. And as you see, if you go too far, it starts getting everything else. Now, you see here in the corner, I've got a hot spot. That's where I've got a green material here covering a closet. And sometimes this will be difficult to work out. But we'll go ahead and get it as close as we can. Okay. And now smoothness, you typically want it to be pretty hard. So you probably want to go as far down to the bottom as you can, and you can then move the similarity again to work on that. Okay. And the final thing is the key color spill reduction. So that means folks like me with silver hair, see me down here? My silver hair tends to pick up the green in the background, so you can modify that. It also affects the color of your face. I know it's hard to see me looking at the Kira, but see how you can affect the skin color and see how the green on the edging comes and goes. So you want to just play with these top 3 settings until you have what you believe is a pretty good settings for the chroma key. We're going to close that, and I'm going to stand up and move over here to my stool. So now I have my stool positioned here. Why do I use the stool? I'm asked that a bit. Why do you play sitting down? It's much more immersive to play standing up and using locomotion. Well, first of all, locomotion makes me sick. And second of all, I need to stay right here. If I'm moving all around, I could go off screen, I could cover up the game. I need to stay here. So I have the stool to anchor me. Now, I spin around while I'm playing. I try not to do that because I want to stay oriented to the microphone. So I try to, you might see me lift but I've got a little, where my floor padding is, I've got a little corner here, and I could stick my toe on that, and I could see where I am. And, you know, if I'm in the heat of battle, sometimes it's hard to stay on that. But yeah, so I can spin around while I play, but I stay anchored in this spot. So that's intentional. It's not lazy or anything. It's strictly for the quality of the video. So let's go ahead and resume our casting. And you will see the video source from the headset pop up. Alright, so now we have our cast going, and again we need to maximize two things. You need to turn the audio on, you need to maximize the screen. And so now, ignore all this stuff, I'm not moving it for this. And now, here I am. I'm on the screen. And everything I do here, you will now see me superimposed over the top of that. Alright? And I can play any game, whatever I want to play. Do whatever I want to do. Okay, now, when I get all the components put together, I need to record. Well, there's a couple of things we need to do to set up some things. We need to know where we're recording to, so we go to Settings, and Output, and Recording. Then we pick a recording path. I just finished doing Season 2, Cycle 3 of The Abyss, so that's where this is pointed to, but you point it wherever you want so that you know where the output goes. And then you click Start Recording. And now, everything that's in this screen, the audio, the casting, everything is being recorded. And when we're done, we say Stop Recording. And that's it. And now we'll go to where that file is, and we'll see the file that we just recorded here. Now, everything that's in this screen, the audio, the casting, everything is being recorded. Okay, and there you have it. That is really all there is to it. So you're building components into this. You're putting a chroma key filter. You've got a green screen. You're recording yourself. You're recording your audio, and you're recording the game, and you're layering it and saving it. So the output of this will look like this. There's some dudes here that we missed, so let's go and finish them off for the points. And there you have it. We've been able to pretty quickly and easily put together a composite of a green screen and a gameplay and audio, and produced a output for uploading to YouTube. That's a whole nother topic altogether, is uploading it into YouTube and all that stuff. But so not too hard. A couple of pieces of software, the casting that comes with the Oculus, and just a few mouse clicks, and there you go. It's not so hard. I'm not really all that smart. I just figured out how to connect the dots. And now you have the tools too. So I expect to see some of you guys producing some of these videos in the near future as well. Well, thanks for stopping by as always. I appreciate you, and for my new subscribers, thank you as well. If you want to see more videos of this kind, let me know. I'm happy to, part of my nature is to tell stories and to teach. So, if you have any other topics you want in particular brought up, I'll be happy to share those as well. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a good one. And again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later.